Good evening, everybody. I'm Erik Smith, and welcome to this nighttime edition of From the Heart. Tonight, we'd like to paint 4 different pictures in music, Detroit music. No, not the music of Berry Gordy's Motown, but rather 4 portraits in blue. Music drawn from the church, from the jazz age, and even rock and roll.
My name is Robert Jones, and this is Blues from the Lowlands on 101.9 FM WDET FM in Detroit.
His name is Robert B. Jones, teacher, preacher, historian, singer, and storyteller. Those are just some of his calling cards, but we'll call him Robert Jones, the Blues Man, Detroit's personal custodian of an African-American treasure.
Good morning, and welcome to a program which explores blues in America. North Carolina blues, Chicago blues, Mississippi Delta and Tennessee blues. It's all part of Blues from the Lowlands.
If you listen to public radio on Saturday mornings, you just hear him, perhaps explaining the history of an obscure recording of a song born in the backwash of the Mississippi Delta. For this is Robert Jones, the historian.
We're going to leave the Carolinas now and go to that rough and ready style of the blues that comes out of the Mississippi Delta. Nobody better exemplifies the style of Delta blues than Big Joe Williams and his 9-string guitar.
There is a bug called the blues that bites you. And am I right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It just jumps on you and bites you.
That's right.
And I don't know when that happened.
I don't either. It's, I've got a song that I wrote, and it says, I didn't pick the blues picked me.
It is peculiarly its own in the world of music.
Absolutely. It's like the blues is African American, and that in the truest sense of both words. Because if you go to Africa, you can't find the blues. And the blues exist in that interaction between African music and American music. Now, I learned this song from this old man. This guy used to sing the blues down in Mississippi. His name was Son House. I got a letter this morning. How you ringing red? Said hurry, hurry, cause the gal you love is dead.
Maybe if you happen into a public school and hear an acoustic guitar and the voices of children echoing down an empty hallway, you will not only hear but see Robert Jones, the teacher and the historian, keeping the original music of generations long past alive again for today's generations.
Now, I take that song and I eliminate the music, and I only say the verses one time instead of twice. I can get that whole song in, but it'll sound like this. I got a letter this morning, how do you reckon it read? It said, hurry, hurry, cause the girl you love is dead. I woke up this morning, it was about to break a date, and I was hugging on the pillow where my baby used to lay. I said, hush, I thought I heard her call my name. She didn't call so loud, but she called so plain. Boy. So, what does that sound like? Rap. So you start to think about it, this music that we think is so different, that we listen to, is still related to, tied to the music that our fathers, grandfathers, great-grandmothers, and great-great-grandmothers created. Part of what I like to do is to go into a school and say, hey, first of all, this is art, and it represents African-American history and culture and poetry and ingenuity and resourcefulness. Life, exactly. It's like people's lives. It takes a snapshot of somebody's life and puts it into a musical context. I got a kind honey woman, do anything in the world for me.
And just perhaps, if you should attend an arts festival or perhaps frequent a local concert, you will personally experience one of those special moments with Robert, the singer, the instrumentalist, the Baptist minister who preaches the gospel and who carries in his guitar case the Bible of the blues. For Robert Jones, the road to the classroom, the microphone, the stage, and the pulpit actually began with an old pawn shop guitar and a love of the music of his ancestors ringing in his heart. He had no idea back then where those 6 strings were going to take him.
Yeah, this old instrument, this old 1933 National Steel guitar. We've been a lot of places together, and it's really been a blessing. It's given me the ability to meet people I wouldn't have met, go places that I didn't even think I'd ever see. What we do is something called story living. Now, story living is different from storytelling. We actually want you to live the story, jump into the story, and try to experience from the inside out what happened in this historical story.
The music, the lyrics, the blues has taken Robert on a good many journeys around this nation. He conducts seminars in colleges. His Blues for the Schools program has fascinated thousands of kids, and his incomparable musicianship continues to captivate adult audiences wherever he goes.
In the water, God's gonna trouble the water. We know that
Having fun?
Absolutely. In spite of being sometimes a little hard to categorize and a little frazzle, I found it's been really a blessing to say, well, I'm not quite sure why I am the mix that I am, but it must be what God intended. And so when you do that, can't go wrong. So thank you very much for being such a great audience. And remember that when you listen to your music, you're listening to some of mine, and it's some of his, and it's some of hers, and it's some of everybody's, because all of it is a part of what makes American music. Thank you.
Truly, Robert Jones is Detroit's goodwill ambassador of the blues.